everybody. So I think I'm like a minute late on here. I'm getting everything ready, so that'll be perfect timing. By the time I have everything on the table and ready to go, there should be a couple viewers here. So just give me 1 minute. Good. Looks like we have some people. I'm going to run upstairs and get something real quick. Oh, I already have 5. That's awesome. Give me 1 minute, guys, and I'll be right back, okay? This is some of the stuff that you will need. I'll kind of just set that here so you can see. You'll need a hammer. You'll need a paintbrush. I am using some of the stuff I printed out on Cricut along with some string. Give me 1 minute. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so I had to print my little cross out because I will need this to do everything pretty much for the finished project. All right. Sorry, my day has been crazy. I always usually do my videos on Thursdays at 6:30. However, my husband was away. He came back today, or last night actually, kind of just randomly, and then today's his birthday. So it's been like kind of crazy all day and nuts with everything going on between my work and here, and it's just been nuts. All right, so what we're gonna do is, you guys, I did post what you all need for this project. If you have been viewing and watching my page, you guys probably have seen that I posted what you will need. I'm gonna start doing that for a lot of my videos. So hopefully that'll kind of help you guys. That way, if you want to do projects along with me, you'll be able to. And then that way you can sit there and ask me questions. It'll kind of be just like a class, just over video. So it'll be kind of fun. All right, so this is my first sign that I made for this, the He Has Risen. Let me actually, I'm gonna flip this because I am afraid that when I start doing the vinyl, it might not show up. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm right. I just have to remember that I'm opposite. Okay, so this is the first one I did. This is just an old, I think this was actually off of pellet boards. So this is pellet board wood. This stuff that I actually used for my class and I'm going to use today, it's actually better wood, just because I was afraid if I would have done another one of these, all the pieces I have are actually cracked the whole way up. So since we're putting nails into this, you can kind of see right there how it's already split. So I didn't want it to split any further. So if you can find an old piece of wood, that's awesome. I think these look really, really pretty, but I can get the same look out of these as well. And these are actually just salvaged pieces of wood. My dad, he's a carpenter, and he goes into homes and he tries to salvage some stuff that he, you know, may rip out or remove from homeowners' homes. And he saved some stuff. So this is how I got that wood. Pretty cool. So any board, if you don't want to go to Lowe's and spend like, I don't know, a couple of bucks on a piece of wood, that's fine. I'm sure if you ask Lowe's or Home Depot, they might even have a section or like a little dumpster in their back area by all their scrap wood, and they might actually let you take a piece. And these aren't that big, and you can make this however big you want. So this technically does not have to be as big as the sign as I'm showing you today, or you can do yours this way, or it can be a square piece. It does not matter. I just did mine this way, and the cross is measured for this piece. But like I said, you guys can do them any way you want. Okay? All right. So we'll start. So this is a bigger project, so just stick with me tonight. I'm going to try to be as detailed as I can with everything. So if you guys have any questions or anything, please let me know. Let me see how I can do this. I have my settings thing up, but I don't know how to take it down. Okay, anyway. Hopefully I can still, okay, there we go. Perfect. So if you guys have any questions or anything along the way, please just comment. I'll try to answer them. Like I said, like I normally do, if you're watching this video after, just comment. I will still reply. All right. So I'm going to use some pretty colors today. I'm going to use all of Art Minds chalk today, and this is all from Michaels. So if you've been watching my videos, you guys know what I use. Usually it's Art Minds or Folk Art, which are both from Michaels. So today I think I'm going to be using Art Minds. All right. I'm just trying to decide what colors I want to do today. Let's see. I'll use that one. I didn't really give it much thought about what colors I wanted to use, so. Okay. So I think I'm going to do more of like a silver white. I guess I kind of did all that on here. This is more of a brownish gray with a little bit of white on it. And then I did do another one for my class the other day. I didn't finish it, I just painted it. So this is what this one turned out like. It has more browns. This is more like bold than this. This is more subtle. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to teach you guys how to paint this, and then I'm going to finish the rest of the project, I think, on this. That way you guys can kind of see. We'll see. Actually, I didn't even paint the edges of this, so maybe I'll just do the whole thing on one board. All right. Okay, so I think I know what colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use a little bit of gray and white, and I'm going to paint this real quick. There we go. And I'm wearing good clothes, so I'm probably going to get a lot of paint on my clothes, I have a feeling. I usually do. When I'm wearing something good, it's usually all over me. I didn't even have time to change. I threw on a different pair of pants just because I had good jeans on, and now I didn't change my shirt, so. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to start just with white here. That's going to be kind of my base color. And I don't really want any of this board showing through there, so I am going to coat the whole thing pretty good. I am using chip brushes again today. Those are from anywhere from like Harbor Freight. Lowe's has them, but I feel like Harbor Freight is the cheapest place to get those. Hopefully everybody's been staying healthy, and, you know, hopefully everybody got everything they need stocked up on and everything. The stores have been nuts. I have been out looking for like toilet paper for like 3 days and I can't find any. We're running out of our stock at home, and I wasn't taking this stuff very seriously because it's just, I worry about stupid things and I don't worry about big things, and this big thing is, I guess, something to be worried about. I don't know, but I've been to 3 different stores today, and nobody had toilet paper on their shelves. It's crazy. It's nuts. I just can't believe how carried away like people get with this. This is, I mean, and it might be in the end something that, yeah, definitely we should be, but I just, walking into a store and seeing empty shelves for toilet paper, it's just weird. It's just weird. Alright. Okay, so there, my board's almost painted here with some white. And this is all the Art Minds chalk paint. So it all should dry pretty quickly, I would think. Alright, good. I'm just making sure that's coated pretty good. And I am going to also do the sides in white. I'm not going to worry about the back on mine today, just because it's pointless. I can go back later and paint that. It'll probably just be a base color anyway. So after I have this first coat, I'm gonna stop and go over everything that you exactly need for this project, even though I did post it on my Facebook and it'll be there. So if you watch this video and you just want a list of stuff after you watched it, it is on my Facebook. So, or if you can't find it, just message me. I'll be more than happy to send it to you. But I will go over everything. That way this thing has some time to dry while I go over everything with you guys. And I haven't been getting all the comments I've noticed about, I think, probably like the last video. I went back, and when I went back to read to make sure I didn't miss any comments, there was comments on there that didn't pop up when I was on here. So if you guys are commenting and I'm not replying, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. It's just something to do with the way the comments pop up on where I can see them, and if I see them, I'm not quite sure why I wasn't able to see all of them last time. So, you know, please know that I'll go back and I'll get back to you if something like that happens. All right. These ends are just a little bit rougher because they are like where they were cut. They're not finished or sanded. Okay. Oops. Got fuzz or something there. There we go. Okay. So this is a pretty cool Easter project. I'm gonna try to like associate the holidays and stuff in with the projects just to make them fun for you guys, and just so maybe it'll, you know, get you excited about decorating and making something. So this one is kind of for Easter. Figured you guys have plenty of time to use it to decorate with since we're doing it today. Easter's coming up. Or if you like it, just keep it up year round. I mean, definitely, this is a good decoration to do that with. All right. Turn this last end here, and then I will put this down and go over everything you guys need for this project. All right, so that was just my first coat there. Yeah, it's already drying really well, and actually this side I didn't get too well for some reason. That looks good. All right, so I'm gonna let this dry. All right, so of course you need your board, and like I said, it doesn't matter what size board you're using, just as long as if you're using my stencil, it would need to fit on there. So I will give you guys the measurements of this stencil. It might be on my list of things, but I don't think I measured this. So the board, I know I measured the board for you guys so you knew what size board. So as long as you get something close to that this cross will fit on, it should be fine. I will go back and measure this too if anybody needs me to. That way if you want to print, you can print this free from my website. Just, I think just go on, click the image, and you can just print off your printer. So if you're doing this project, you will need this. This is where you know where to put your nails, okay? So this little piece of paper is going to kind of be your guide on where you need to put your nails in order to do your string art. And like I said, you can print that for free from my website. And I think that link is on like my post this morning, from this morning, that tells you everything you need. So there's that, you'll need that. So you need your board, you need your cross, you'll need a hammer. All right, and I got these really, really cute hammers. These were from Harbor Freight. I couldn't pass these up for my class the other day. They were like, I think $2.80 something, and look how stinking cute. So they worked pretty good too. They worked good. So those are really nice. If you're looking for a cheap little hammer and you know you don't do a lot of stuff like this, but you want it for this project, this is like literally I think $2 with a 20% off coupon. So Harbor Freight or Lowe's, anywhere has hammers, you can get them for a couple bucks. All right, you need that. You need, of course, paint. It does not matter what type of paint. I'm using chalk paint just because I like chalk paint and the way it layers and how you can use it. So that's the only reason I'm using chalk paint. You can use acrylic if you have acrylic sitting around. You don't want to go to the store in this mass chaos lately. You can use whatever you have sitting around. That's fine. And I'm using a chip brush, okay? And that is, oh, my brush is looking kind of scary. Okay, there we go. And those you can get at Harbor Freight, Lowe's, anywhere, like any, like Home Depot, anywhere like that has them. Harbor Freight has the cheapest ones that I know of. I could be wrong on that. If you have a store closer to you that has cheaper ones, that's awesome. You can get them there, but usually they come in bulk. And like I said, Artmon's chalk paint there. So any colors that you like that match your house. And then I'm using, these are from Lowe's, I'm sure the Home Depot or anywhere that carries like bolts, screws, nails, anywhere that carries stuff like that should have this type of nail. You don't technically need to use this exact type. This will work with regular little nails. So if you have like a little box downstairs in your basement full of like just useless bolts, nuts, and nails, and you can, you know, gather a few. If you don't want to run out to the store, that'll work for this project as well. Just as long as they have a little like head that the string can grab onto when you tie it. So I'll try to show you guys what I mean there. I'm using, this is the size I'm using, 14 by 3/4. So for this wood that I have, this seems to be the best size to use because you're pounding it in, but you're not pounding it in the whole way because you still need that little piece of nail sticking up to wrap your string around when you're doing string art. Alright, so I'll show you guys up close. So you do want something that has a decent hold there for string. You don't want a nail that's just straight because you want to be able to wrap the string around there a couple of times in order to stay. So these do work good, and they look good too. So if you're using, like if you want your thing to look rustic, these are nice for this project. And they are called cut tacks is what they're exactly called. So I'll show you guys the picture of that again. Oops, sorry, forgetting I'm on the wrong side here today. Cut tacks, and that's the size of them. It just depends on how big your board is. If your board is really thin, actually I can show you this. So the thickness of the boards we're using today are pretty thick, all right? So you want to make sure your nail goes in pretty far and still has some room to stick out. So you don't want to get a tiny nail because if you do that, you're not going to have any room. Sorry, my mom was calling me. You guys might have lost me for a second. Okay, so you'll just do that where you want to make sure your nail is long enough to go into the wood and still have room for that string. All right. Now this is the board that I used before. It's definitely thinner, as you guys can tell. So I used littler nails, all right, just because if not, they would have been sticking way out or they would have been poking through the bottom of the board, and we didn't want that. So I did use the same type of nails. They're just littler, all right? So just make sure you get the right size for your board. So don't go by these if your board is really thin. Make sure you're buying the size of nail that needs to fit your board, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. All right, I'll set those down. Let's see. Hi, Lori. Hi, Tara. Oh, I love and miss you guys too, Tara. Hi, Addie. All right. So I think this is still wet. So I'm going to set a little bit more here. And for the other thing that you guys need, the Dollar Tree has a lot of cool little vinyl things. I don't know if you guys ever went through the Dollar Tree aisle for their crafts, but they have a lot of cool stuff. They have a lot of cool sayings, a lot of cool things, and they're actually starting to get stencils and stuff now, which is really neat too. So for my stuff here, I used my Cricut. If you have a Cricut, go for it. You can make something up on there for this. If you want to use the same thing I did, that's awesome. I made this off of my Cricut. So this is Cricut vinyl on here, and that's how I made this. But if you guys want to purchase the one off of my website, you're more than welcome to. But if you're doing this project and you're like, I don't really want to purchase the vinyl, I just want something on there, the Dollar Tree has really cute sayings and everything. So if you're not hooked on the whole He is Risen thing, and you don't mind if it says something else, or Happy Easter, or something that you can find any type of vinyl for, you can also use that. Now, the font that I used on this board is no longer, I should say. So I did come up with a different type of font, and I do have it on my Cricut still. So if you guys do want to purchase that, please just go on my website first and look. It looks a lot like that, it's just a tiny bit different. So if you are interested in that, just let me know, shoot me a message, and I can send that to you. All right. So for the vinyl, I'm just going to kind of show you guys here. And I do want to do a tutorial on Cricut too, just because Cricut has so much stuff going on with it. It's nuts. Like when I first got my Cricut machine, I sat down and I was completely overwhelmed. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to use it. It's not, and I'm not saying bad things about Cricut, because I do love it now that I know how to use it, but they're not very user friendly. It's hard to figure out. It's hard to work. There's no walking you through stuff. It walks you through like the first like 5 seconds of how to use it, and then you're just kind of like on your own. So I do want to do a tutorial on Cricut. So if anybody has a Cricut out there that are struggling with it, I've struggled with it myself. So any questions on that, please let me know so I can, you know, maybe make a video around that. So I'm just weeding this out. If you have a Cricut, you know what that means. I'm just taking the outer stuff off of this one. And the middle's out of my letters here. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so there's my little bit of vinyl. All right. And like I said, if you're watching this video, this isn't the exact font. If you purchase your vinyl off of me that you'll be getting, it's a different type of font. So I just want everybody to kind of understand that this font is actually no longer, I can't really print any more of these. So please, you know, keep that in mind. If you're watching this, your font's not going to be exactly like this. If you purchase it off of me, you can go on my website. It'll show you exactly what it's going to look like. Okay, so there's that. And I got my string. Ooh, and my baggie. Got my string here. Okay, you'll need 4 pieces of this. Oh, and this is another thing, of course, you'll need. Let's see. Okay, here it is. All right, so I can't remember the name of this stuff right now because it's some weird name, but it is at Lowe's, Home Depot, any hardware store. It's a very tough string. I think it's like something nylon or something. I don't remember. But this little thing, it could get you can make a billion of these out of this, because this goes a long way. I took this to my class, I made mine out of this, and I still have a lot of it, as you can see. And I think it was like $4 or $5 for this whole spool. So, and you will use this if you do a lot of string art. This is good stuff to use. I noticed if I used like thread, it was like too little and you weren't getting anywhere unless you want to sit there for hours. This is just a more simple project with the string art, so a thicker string. I didn't want to use yarn just because it kind of it gets fluffy like. I just wanted something simple, kind of in between thread and yarn, and this is kind of what I came up with. And this stuff does work really well. And they have different colors. I think they have bright pink, they have blue and green, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right, let's see here. I'm gonna set that aside, and I did cut all of mine. I cut them pretty long. I overcut. I did not measure, but I overcut them just so I had enough. And I used 4 of these. So you'll need one on each edge of the cross. So I cut 4 pretty long. And it just depends on how much string art you want to do on your project too. That depends on the length. All right, so let me see if this is dry enough. Yep, I think so. So I'm gonna do my second color on here real quick. So the first part of this is really just painting. And then we get into the more of how to put it together and how to do everything. All right. I'm not using any water on my brush. I want this brush to be dry. That way when I go over with my second color, it's not just blending it in, it's sticking out pretty boldly. All right. Twine. Yes, Christy. It's something like that. It's something like nylon. It's more of like a, construction term. I don't even know. Because when I looked up the name for this stuff, because I wanted to make sure I told you guys the exact right name for this, it's on my Facebook, but I can't remember. It's something like weird, something nylon, something, I don't know. But yeah, if you go back and look, it's on there. But to me, it's twine. it just looks like white twine. All right, so I'm using, this is the chalk paint, but it does look metallic. It's those two new ones that I've been using lately that I have that I really like. So I am just going to kind of go over this real lightly here, adding it just a little bit here, making sure not to leave puddles anywhere of it because you don't want to do that. And this stuff is a little bit water-ier, I guess, right? Than actual like chalk paint because of the metallic in it. And I know I've went through that a couple of times on my last videos with you guys. Okay. Let's see here. Kathy, looks like string you would fly. Yeah, it does actually, Kathy. You're right. You nailed it when you said that. It does look a lot like kite string. You're right. It does. I didn't really realize that until you said that. But yeah, it does kind of look like kite string. You're correct. So yeah, kite string. We'll just call it kite string. I like that. All right. So just not blending this in here, but giving it some color with that gray metallic there. I guess I should say silver. It's not really gray. Technically it's silver. All right. And I'm just really lightly, because I don't want this to be too crazy, but I want it to have that farmhouse look to it. And like I said, I'm just using a chip brush for this part of it. And the metallic in this is a little bit different, like I said, than the chalk paint. So I'm still kind of figuring out how to use this completely, just because it is like a different texture. It's not as thick. Okay. That looks good. All right. So I like how that looks there. I think that looks pretty. And then I am going to do some on the sides here just to make sure everything runs along together. Okay, there's that side. And this one. Oh, gosh, about dropped that. I'm always dropping something in my videos, every video. All right. Hopefully I didn't go too thick with that now. Okay. Can't see what I'm doing over here. I don't know where, I have these fuzzies. I cannot figure out where they're coming from. My paint's gonna have fuzz in them. Okay. They must just be off. I'm using an actual, I'm not actually using my disposable chewy packing papers that I usually do, because this project is a little bit more in depth. So I figured I'd pull out one of my drop cloths, and I think the fuzz is actually coming off of the drop cloth. Okay, so anyway, we're just gonna go for it. I have some fuzzies on here, but I'm not gonna sit here and pick them out right this second. All right. Good. All right, two more ends here. I got the very ends to do real quick. Okay. All right. Okay, so that looks pretty good there. I think it looks really pretty. You can see the metallic in it when I go like this, how shiny it is. That's really neat. So I'm gonna actually go back, and I was thinking about using gray, but I kind of just like how this looks with these two colors. So I think I'm just gonna keep those two colors. And now I am gonna go and do my little bit of, I call it eyeliner, but highlighting the edges here. I'm just adding a little bit more of this metallic to that. I have a little bit more on my brush than what I was using a couple seconds ago. Still have a lot of white on here. Let me see if I can get some of this off. There we go. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, no, Lori, it's not today. I know, this is weird not seeing chewy papers down. I need to send them like a little letter. Like, thank you so much for your extra papers in your box. They're going to be like, why is this lady thanking us for our packing? They're a really cool company though. We get letters and everything for our dog on her birthday, and it's really, really cool company. So I'll throw their name out there for the thank yous for the packing paper that I use. All right. So I kind of highlighted that edge there. And I'm going to do the same thing with all of these. Good. Woo. All right, when I say highlight, I'll try to bring this a little bit closer so you guys can see if you missed any of my other videos there. I'm just going back and kind of just putting paint, that silver metallic paint there on the edges just to make it stand out and bring out the edges there. Good. Same with this one. Let's see. Yes, Amy. I know, my husband's birthday is today. If you missed the beginning of the video, yeah. Jesse, my husband, that's his name, is Jesse. I don't think I ever told you guys that. But yeah, today is his birthday. So, and it was funny because I originally wasn't planning to have him home today. He was actually traveling for work. We're supposed to be traveling for work and still be at work. So when he texted me and said he was coming home last night, I was kind of like, I planned a video on your birthday, so sorry, hon, but I can't, you know, ditch my viewers for a night. So I'm still on here. That's kind of why my video is at a different time tonight than it's usually at 6:30, and tonight it's at 4:30, so sorry. But yeah, and everywhere's closed, Amy, so I couldn't really take him anywhere. I kind of felt bad. It was like, we're not doing like anything for your birthday because everywhere's closed. Can't even go out to eat. So maybe a pizza and a movie night in would be good. Maybe tonight. We'll see. Let's see here. Oh, happy birthday, Kathy. That's awesome that your birthday's tomorrow. That's awesome. Happy birthday. Let's see, Lori. Yes, definitely do. Yeah, I know a lot of people get their dog stuff from there or their pet stuff from there. That's awesome. And they're a good company to support. It's everything that I know about them, and just the little things that they do is really sweet. Like a big company like that I'm sure has more than enough customers and makes more than enough, you know, decent profit, and they still want to send letters out to their customers. That's really cool. So yeah, definitely, and tell your is it your son and your daughter-in-law? Son-in-law, about saving those papers for you. Definitely. They'll probably be like, why do you need the papers? But you'll need them. If you paint, you'll use them, I promise. And you can get more than one use out of them too, which is awesome. Alright, so my outlining is done on there. Looks pretty good. I just want to add a little bit here to the corners just to bring it out. Kind of make it just look more rustic. There. And just kind of blend that in. All right. Okay, so I got that. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna get everything else ready here. I still have yet not replaced Mr. Hairdryer. I think I'm in mourning. I don't know. I just can't replace him yet. So I've been using my good hairdryer still. All right, let's see. You're welcome, Kathy, of course. All right, let's see. I need this. I'm going to go ahead and close up all my paints because we are done with the paints. So that's nice. We'll move on to the next thing here. I didn't get too messy tonight. I'm kind of proud of myself. I only have a little bit of paint on my fingers and everything. Not too bad, right? Okay. Put this over here so I don't spill anything. Okay. Alrighty. So I am going to get my hair dryer and just go over this real quick. I also put my, and I need to kind of go over this maybe probably on each video. I do download, after I'm done going live on Facebook, I actually download the videos to YouTube for subscribers on there as well. So if you have a YouTube account, you can join if you want, but if you watch them live here, that's awesome. So I know people on YouTube are like, I wonder who she's talking to, because they don't see all the comments, they don't see all the interaction going on, they just see me sitting here and showing you how to do stuff. So I know I had one girl on YouTube comment, and she was really happy that I showed the video and everything, and she was like, oh, that's awesome that you know, are doing this, and it looks really cool. And she's like, but could you mute the hairdryer? So I'm sorry, apparently the hairdryer is noisy. I apologize, but it's just my fast way of drying things. That way it's done and I can move on with the project instead of sitting here literally like making you guys watch paint dry. So I'm sorry. I don't know if there's a mute button on here for my hairdryer. As far as muting this, I never even tried it. I should have probably looked today. I really don't think there's a mute button on here for live video. I think that might be kind of pointless, but okay, so I'm gonna dry this. I'm sorry if it's too loud. Cover your ears. I'm sorry. All right, maybe if my hairdryer. Oh, because I have this turned on. So I think that's pretty dry. I hope it wasn't too loud for you guys. Alright, my lighting is like not good in here today. I think it's because like where I'm at or something. Maybe the lighting's just behind my big old head and that's why. I don't know. Okay. I think that's why. That is why. Alright, let me shut this light off real quick. Alright. So I think, oh, no, maybe. I thought maybe it would be a little bit later. Let me see. Hang on. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Open my curtain. Maybe that'll help. Okay. That's a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. See? Look, when I cover it up with my head, it works. So I'll just sit here. Okay. Alright, so this is pretty dry now. We're ready to move on to our next step. And I'm going to move this down just a little bit so you see more of my project than my face. Okay, there we go. Alright, now it just depends on how you want to position this stuff. You don't have to position it exactly how I did it. It just depends on probably what you're using as far as your saying on it. And that all goes into consideration as well. So... cut my cross out here a little bit. Okay, so I got my cross, my printable cross, and like I said, if you guys want to print this off my website, it's free on there. Just go click it and you can just print to your printer. That way it's free and you guys have it to do this if you want to make a cross. Let's see here. Picture behind you. Yes, Misty, it is. I know my head was kind of covering it. Every time my head covered that big lamp there, it would get bright in here. So I tried to shut it off and it didn't work in my favor. But I think I got it now. I pointed the camera down a little bit. I think it's working a little bit better. Okay. Alright, throw that stuff away. So how I did this one, you guys, was just I put the cross at the top and I put this little cool little detail here and then he has risen. It's completely up to you how you want to do this. This cross you can move anywhere. It does not have to be at the top of your board. It can be at the bottom. It can be in the middle. My mom, when she did hers, she actually took my class the other day. So she made hers, she put hers in the middle and then put he has risen at the bottom there. So she put the he is, and then she put risen at the bottom. So it's completely up to you guys, or if you're using a square piece, you can put your cross in the corner and then put, you know, he is risen in the bottom. It doesn't matter. I'm just here to kind of show you how to put this together. So now that your board's all painted, this is what you want to start with next. You just want to figure out where you want to put your cross and all that. So I'm going to turn this way because you guys can still see it. There we go. Actually, I'm going to do it sideways. There we go. All right, so you want to make sure it's in the middle the best you can. I'm going to actually stand up to do that because I can see it a little bit better. Perfect. And when I did this, I used some tape to hold that into place. So I would use painter's tape. Now I know I just had a whole bunch of that here and I don't know where I put it. There it is. Okay. And if you know me, I like my frog tape. I don't use any of the cheap stuff. This is one item I will splurge on if I am doing a serious project that needs mask. Frog tape does work the best. And if you can see the little logo in there, that's what it looks like. Lowe's, I think Home Depot might have it. When I get it at Lowe's. I think it's like $8 or something for this whole roll, but it'll last you, especially if you don't do huge, like if you're not doing like 5 rooms of paint, this should last you pretty long. All right, let's see. Oh, thanks, Misty. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty cute idea. I did it for one of my classes here in Johnstown where I supplied everything for everybody who wanted to take it and taught them how to make it. And I figured why not go live with it too. Unfortunately, I can't supply you guys with the stuff, but I can at least show you how to make it. All right, so I'm going to tape this on the right position here, just so in the end it looks right. I don't know if that's even. I'm going to actually cut a little bit more off my sides here, just because I'm picky about it. I want to make sure it's pretty even. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do that, line it up again. And this isn't very hard to do. If you guys even want to make your own string art, you could even go onto like Word, the word processor on your computer, and, you know, choose a font you like and just go around and put dots on the words where you want to put your nails. And that's pretty much how I did this. I just pretty much did 2 rectangles to make a cross, and then I took those rectangles away after I put the dots over them, and I did that. But I just did it on my Cricut. It was just easier to do it on my Cricut. And when Cricut prints out things with boxes around it because then it thinks you're going to put it back into the machine to cut it. So that's why mine has the square around. I think the one on my website doesn't have the square around it, but you don't really need the square. There's no reason for it. It's just there. That's how I had to print these. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so I have that taped down just so it won't move while I'm putting my nails in there. All right, let me see. So, like I said, I'm just using these. These are the cut tacks, and those can be found at Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere that carries a lot of nuts, bolts, and screws. All right, they should have them. Or anything that looks like this. If you find something that you like better, or you just have nails, a box of nails hanging around. I know my dad always used to keep like a big coffee, an empty coffee jug of like nails and just random stuff. And they came in handy. So if you have one of those and you want to make this, that's awesome. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and start here. I hope you guys can see this. I'm going to bend this down. Sorry, I'm going to chop off my head, but there we go. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm just going to start here. It doesn't matter which one you start with. And remember, you don't want to pound them the whole way into the wood because you want to be able to have enough space for your string to go around that. I try to pound them in as straight as I can. And just try to get them as straight as you can and the same height if possible. I'm not going to make these all perfect just because I don't want to If I sat here and made them all perfect, we'd be here for like hours. I'm picky. Alright. I'm waiting to hit my finger. I haven't done it yet, but I can guarantee you it'll be on this video. Then I would do it. So, you know, if I do that, you might hear me like say a bad word and just get up and walk away. Let's hope it doesn't happen, right? Alright, so those three, I'm just putting my finger over them just to kind of see if they are straight. They're pretty flat. My finger's not like sticking up here where one is or anything, so that's a good way to tell if you have them flat enough or not. And I'm just going to keep going. Okay. Getting warm in here. I'm getting my workout with the hammer. Okay. So I'm just going to work my way down here. Okay. That one's a little high. There we go. And my dad makes this look like a piece of cake, and my husband, you know, they got like the man hammering where they just literally just go wham and it's done. It's like, and I'm sitting here just like pounding these in little by little. I don't trust myself enough to do that yet, so. I am pretty handy though. I can use tools. I will give myself that. I'm not completely incapable of doing anything like this, so. My dad's a carpenter, and, you know, when I was little, he would always take me on jobs with him. So just from that, I kind of learned some stuff. All right. So as you can see, it's a good thing that we have some paper here, because without it, we'd be pretty lost on where we're putting our nails, and they wouldn't be in line. And you'll probably be taking them in and taking them out because you're like messing it up. So it is nice to have the little outline of the cross here. Alright. Should be using my littler hammer. It's probably easier for this video, but you know, we'll just keep going here. Alright, those are looking pretty straight. And you guys might be looking at this from your direction and be like, honey, those aren't straight at all. Like, they look really off. So I will go back and I'll fix some of them up because I know some of them are a little bit taller than others too. This is easier if you're standing up to do this. I'm kind of struggling sitting down. Let me see here. Okay, just want to make sure I wasn't missing any comments there. Okay, that. And as you can see, this paper kind of is keeping us from getting all that dirt. These tacks kind of are, if you ever picked up a handful of nails and stuff, they do have kind of like a greasy feel to them, like an oily feel. So this paper is kind of keeping us from getting that all over our board as well. As you can see, there's a little bit of that stuff just from me touching it, just from the stuff on the nails, or on the tacks, I should say. So I'm just going to bring it back down here, keep doing this. This is part of the project I wish I could have had half done for you guys, so you don't sit here and watch me, but when I tell you I'm taking you through the whole project, I'm taking you through the whole project. Alright. This one is like way off here. Let me use this little hammer since I'm sitting down. Okay, I'm just going to use this one. This one seems to be a little bit easier since I'm sitting. All right, do this one next. You guys are probably wishing there's like a little fast forward button, right? All right, we're getting there. Hang in there with me. They're looking pretty good. Alright, so I'm just going to go back real quick and make sure there's none that are sticking up way above each other. You can see that these two kind of are, oh, where am I? I'm backwards on this video. Let me find them. Oh, here, right here. It took me long enough. These two are kind of sticking up a little bit further, so I'm going to pound those down. And that looks a little bit better there. They kind of match. Okay. Over halfway done. This is a noisy project. It's probably the noisiest project I've done. Between the hair dryer, the pounding the nails and everything. Once you guys have the string on these two, the nails, straightness, try to get the best you can, but once you have the string on, it kind of works a little bit better. And it looks better. You won't see them as crooked if yours aren't perfectly straight. Ooh. This one here just does not want to go in right. Can't fit my hammer in between there. There we go. Okay. It's a little bit better. This is definitely not a kid-friendly project until after you have your nails done on here. I know I try to include kids as much as I can, especially if you're a mom at home, but this one is definitely not. Okay, let's see if I can get these done real quick so we can move on to the next step here. And then I'll show you guys my fingertips after using these nails and why it's so important to try not to touch your wood without, you know, without the paper being on it. Especially if you're doing white and gray like I did. You can kind of see it. Okay. 3 more and then I promise we're done with this part here. That one's like way off. I missed that dot. last one, woohoo! That last one is kind of hard to get in there because you need space to hold it. Okay. There we go. All right, so finally we're done. I'm just gonna double check here, make sure they all look somewhat the same height. You're not gonna have anybody come up to it and be like, excuse me, but this nail is a little bit longer than the one beside it. If you do have friends and family that do that, then tell them they can fix it. So I am just gonna make sure everything here looks good. But if you look at my fingertips, do you see all that shiny stuff on there? That's just from the nails, okay? So try not to be touching your board everywhere. Try to maybe have like a napkin if you're doing this and you're using nails and stuff. Just have something to keep your board clean, okay? And this paper did help a lot. So I'm just gonna use my beautiful here drop cloth just to get that stuff off my fingers here. I do have an actual paper towel. Okay. So I got that off pretty good. All right, now, since we do have all of these in here, see one or two that just need straightened out. There we go. Okay, I'm not gonna get too picky with it. All right, so now we're just going to remove this paper, and that's why just regular printer paper will work for this. It's nice and easy. You don't wanna use cardstock and everything. If you use something too thick, you're gonna, when you tear it out, these nails might come with it. Because remember, these aren't pounded in the whole way to the wood. With it flushed, they want to be up a little bit. That way you can have room to tie your string on. So I'm just ripping this paper right around all of my nails here. And this works great with any type of string art and nails and pins, anything like that. So even if you want to make your own design, this is how you do it. Pretty simple. Who would have thought, right? Alright, let's see here. These out. Trying to make sure I'm not missing any comments or anything for you guys. Of course, all my other ones ripped out a lot easier than this, because, you know, that would happen on my video day, that this would take me forever to do. Okay, there we go. I pulled like my last two and they just came like straight off. So, all right, there we go. All that paper's out of there. See, I'm struggling. It's because I'm on camera. That's exactly why. There we go. All right, so we did that. That looks good. That wood was all saved from all that grease and stuff on those nails. It just looks good. All right, so there's your cross. That's how you get your nails for your cross, and then we'll do the string art here in a minute. So the next step, I am going to actually, I'll do the string art and then we'll move on. So I will start with that. I'm gonna put my nails away just because I will spill them everywhere if I don't. All right. Okay, so this is where your twine slash kite string slash whatever you want to call this stuff, string, is gonna start. So what I did was I started, about threw that at myself. I started with a piece, I tied a piece here, I tied a piece, I'm trying to see where my finger is here, there, right in the middle, and then I tied one here, and I tied one here. So you have 4 strings, just depends on how you want to do your string, or if you, what string you have sitting around. If you don't have much of it, you can probably do it with one piece. You can come up with your own design, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try or tie those 4 strings to each of the corners of this cross real quick. And you want to make sure they're on there pretty good. So, you know, I did cut myself some extra string, so I'm not going to be afraid to use too much. What I found out, instead of trying to tie these around each one, is start your little loop, make your little like lasso type thing here, and then just put it around that and pull it. Easiest way to do that, so you don't have to, so you're not struggling, you know, trying to get that around that nail. I double knotted mine, and even at the end I did hot glue mine as well. So there's one, just so you guys can understand that. There's one tied to that middle little nail there. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that up there to the side. I'm gonna move you guys back down so you can see more of what I'm doing. There we go. Oh, that's a really short one. I don't know where that one came from. All right. There's another one. I'm going to make my little lasso here. And just tie it around. Hopefully you guys can see that. My comments are in the way of me seeing what you're seeing, so hopefully you can see it. Okay. That. And I just double knotted it and pulled pretty tight, so you got that end, got the top one. And this side, make your little lasso. And put it right around that middle nail there. Okay, and I'm going to double knot it real quick. So what's everybody doing that they're stuck inside now? Or, you know, if you're like me, you still have to go to work. If you work in the medical field or any, you know, necessity as far as stores like, you know, food or supplies, you know, I feel for you. I'm there with you, and it's scary and tiring at the same time, I guess, you know. It takes one person, you know, especially in the medical field, you know, you ask all these questions, you know, are you sick? Are you having any of the symptoms? And it takes one person to have it not know or anything like that, or anywhere, working anywhere, you know, it's kind of scary out. So hopefully everybody stays nice and healthy, right? I should be doing a lot more of these videos to give everybody something to do, maybe. Alright. There we go. I'm just going to triple knot this one. This one seems pretty loose. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we have all of our strings here tied top and bottom. And this one. So I'm just going to start with the top, and I'm going to work my way down here. I'm going to point you guys down here. Let's see. Oh, Lori, that's awesome. That would be a fun, I think that would be a rewarding job to do that and be around kids like that. That's really neat. And the schools and everything, I can't imagine. Like, that's just nuts. And I know the kids, I know I saw stuff on Facebook about, you know, kids not having meals because they're not going to school. Like, I can't even, that to me is scary and sad. So, you know, the job that you do, that's awesome. That's really cool. That's really awesome. But yeah, hopefully, you know, schools will be able to get back in and everything. I know they're pushing them out further and further. Every time I hear somebody talking about it, you know, it was 2 weeks, and then it was, you know, a couple weeks after that. I think I don't even know what they're at now. But yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you love your job. That would be neat. That would be a neat job. All right, guys, I'm going to tilt you down here, and just so you can see how I'm going to do this. So the first one here I took every other one. This is how I did mine. It does not have to be like this. You can come up with your own pattern if you want. But I just went and I weaved every other one. So I went to this one, went to this one, went to this one, and down. And I just kept going here, back and forth. And like I said, if you guys, some people pick up on this right away, and there's some people like me where I never done string art before, and so I looked up videos on how like to get a design and how to do it, and I was completely lost. I just didn't know how to do it, so I just kind of came up with my own thing here. So if you guys can follow what I am doing, that's awesome, but if not, you can make up your own. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to bring that one, and I'm going to leave it down here. And I'm going to pick up my one that's already tied to the middle nail down here. And I'm just going to go opposite right now. So I'm going to actually take it around this one. I'm going this one, the ones I did not hit, and I'm just doing opposite. I know I'll probably eventually mess this up because, you know, it can get kind of confusing. Your eyes kind of jump. Okay. And then I'm just going to end it at the very top. So you have your first little pattern there. Okay, the crisscrosses, you have those. And then I'm just going to actually, it's just easier for you guys to see this. I'm just going to finish it this way, and then I'm going to go this way. That way, you know, you could follow me a little bit better, maybe over video. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the one that was originally up here that I came down with. So I'm going to grab this one again, and I'm going to wrap it around the same ones that it came down on. So I'm just gonna go that way. You're going over top of the one that you just went up with. And this is where it starts getting tricky because you're like, now which way did I go? Which one did I come from? Don't worry, if you mess it up, you can just go back. Okay, so that's done. And then I'm gonna grab my top one, the one that I came up with that started down here and I came up with and I stopped it. So I'm gonna grab this one now. All right, and I'm going to start my way back down. So every other one. And this is kind of easy, not easy, I should not say easy because it can be confusing. You just have to look for the string that has less on. So if you do confuse yourself, take it off, back it up, and say, okay, this string already has 2 on, I just need the one that has the 1. So then that's where you're gonna know how to go. So just gonna start there, bring that up there and hold it. Okay, then I'm gonna go down, oops, maybe. My strings are getting mixed up here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go down. Maybe if I can get this back around here. It's fighting me. Okay, down and around again on all those. Just gonna keep going. All right, and I'm gonna bring this down here. So as you can see, these are building up to the top of those nails. Let me do it this way. And they're at the very top. So it just depends on how many layers you want to do. I'm probably only going to do a couple because I don't want to make you guys watch all this. Hang on. There you go. So I'm just going to push this down just to make more room for my next one. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. Make sure that they're on there. Make sure there's room for another layer of string. So you're not, you know, popping off of any of those nails. All right, I'm just gonna set it down, finish pushing that down. Okay, perfect. All right, so I still have more string. I'm just gonna keep going with it here. And I'm gonna start at the top now. So now I need to go, I went this way. If you guys can see that, hopefully you can. I went this way, so now I need to go this way. All right, so I'm going to start that one again. And honestly, after like 2 layers, if you mess up going whatever way with whatever string, you're never going to know at the end. You might just, if somebody counts all your strings on one figure 8, they might see that there's one more string on there or something, but at the end you're not going to really notice. Okay, so that's that one. And then I'm going to just go back up with this one the opposite way here. Oops, trying to figure out, there we go. Okay. Just going back and forth, following my pattern here. Okay. Just wrapping that one. All right, so it's actually starting to look like string art finally, right? Woohoo! Yay! You guys can see that and turn it this way. All right, so those look pretty good there. I might be able to get one more pass out of these. Let me try. All right, so I'm gonna start with the bottom. I'm trying to think which way I did this now. See, I already forgot. I told you I was gonna forget. I think I ended, let me see here. This is where it gets confusing. I'm following my way back here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I do need to go this way. All right, so it's gonna go that way now. Oh, look at that, perfect. Okay, then I'm gonna go down and that should be it for the middle of the cross going down here. I'm gonna tuck this one underneath there so it doesn't come out maybe. Okay. And I'm going to push these down because I am losing room on my nails. All right. Okay. Which way did I come up? I came up that way. Oh, I might not have any more room on my nails. Let me see. I'm gonna do it that way. Okay. All right. Keep going here. I think this should end pretty decently here. Perfect amount. All right. So that's good. Now, instead of trying to tie those ends, I usually just get a dab of hot glue and glue it to the bottom of that nail. I'll just get that and probably glue it to right there. That way you don't have any extra string hanging off of there. All right, now doing the same thing this way, okay? The same thing. And I'm just gonna do this one a little bit quicker. It's just you go opposite. These strings are gonna be way too long for this, so I'm only gonna do a couple of times. Trying to decide which way I want to go here. I should go this way. Okay. There we go. It's almost like braiding. Once you have it down, it's kind of easy to do. So not too hard. All right. One last one maybe. Okay, there we go. So that looks pretty good. Should probably put this side over there, but I think it looks about equal. All right, so I'm gonna bring this up just so you guys can kind of see. Hopefully I didn't lose too many of you on that one. I know that was kind of like boring to watch. Okay, so there you go. There's your string art. Looks kind of cool. Once you cut off all these edges, it looks a little bit better. And then just hot glue them about to your nails right here. Okay, so that's how you do that. I am just gonna clip mine off here real quick, and I will go back and hot glue them later. Just gonna wrap it around there a little bit. Okay. All right, so in order to do the vinyl on these, even if you get it from the dollar store, not a big deal. Let me see. I might not have transfer paper right now, though. I do not. Okay. I'm gonna go grab a piece of transfer paper. Give me 1 second here. I will set this here so you guys know what we're doing next. Alright, so this is transfer paper. This is pretty much in the Cricut aisle. So if you do use anything like vinyls or anything that you even get at the dollar store, and you know how you have to peel each letter off and put it on the wall or put it wherever you're doing that? This is transfer paper. This is like amazing, okay? So I'll show you guys how to use that. It's another little trick here on this project, and you can use this for any vinyls that you find, not just Cricut stuff. So I'm going to cut a little piece here. Doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. Put that over there just so enough, you know, it'll cover that enough, okay? So right now, I already have weeded, or this is how you'll find your vinyls if you buy them at the dollar store or anywhere, okay? So that's how it looks. There's no coat over top of this. It's just literally the letters. I can pull them off of here if I wanted to, okay? So we're gonna keep them flat, all right? I'm going to bend you guys back down here so you can see this a little bit better. So as you have your vinyl, you want to peel off the backing of your transfer paper. Maybe. I always struggle with this, getting the edge here. Alright, there we go. And it's clear. Alright, and then you're going to put it down, sticky side down, on your decal, okay, or your vinyl. And then you're going to flip it over, and you're just going to, you can even use your scissors for this. Just rub it on there, make sure it's on there good. Alright, and now you need to peel the backing off because you need the sticky side of your letters, right? So it's on there on the transfer paper, so you're just going to grab that, and sometimes to get it started it's a pain in the butt. Okay, there we go. But this is so all your letters and everything stay in the place that they need to. So then you can just put them on without having to measure and without having to stress over whether they're in line or even. And then you're just going to peel. And it comes off on that transfer paper with a little bit of help. Sometimes it just needs you to kind of guide it. Just depends on how strong your transfer paper is. Mine just needs a little bit of help apparently today. Usually it doesn't, but apparently today it does. Okay, so you're just going to peel it. As you see, it's all sticking on there. I'm looking at the video while I'm doing this, so hopefully I'm not missing anything. There we go. We got it. So your decal backing should be blank. It should not have any of your stuff on it. So there is your see-through transfer paper. So now you just want to place this wherever you're placing it. Wherever you decide you want it, you're just going to kind of place it evenly or however you want it. It can be sideways, it can be even, it doesn't matter. I'm going to actually turn this towards me because once I put this on here, I don't want to peel it back off and have to do it over again. So I'm just going to get this on there. My dog's whining if you hear her. Okay, that looks pretty good. And that'll kind of help you there, but that's how you put that on there. All right, and you can peel it off again if you don't like where you put it down, unless you have permanent vinyl. All right, so I'm just gonna rub that on there. I actually think it needs to go over this way a little bit, so just bear with me here. You're fine, Lane. Alright, that looks pretty good. And I'm just scratching that on there, making sure it's going to stick, kind of squeegeeing it. Credit card, anything will work for that. Alright, and then you're just going to peel off your transfer paper, leaving behind, hopefully leaving behind, all of your vinyl that you just want to stick on there. And it's on there, whoops, see, I just ripped my end. That's okay, it's an easy fix. Gonna tear that off. I was being too rough with that. Okay, just gonna tear this off and put it back on here. So you don't have to sit here like I'm doing every letter. That transfer vinyl does make a difference. I'm trying to decide which way this goes. I don't even know. Let's see, I think it goes like this. Or not. Maybe it doesn't. Let me look at one of my other ones. Oh, okay, it does go with the big end like this. Okay, I thought maybe I was wrong. I was right first. Alright, and I'm just going to add that. There we go. It's on there. Alright, so that's what it looks like, okay? Like I said, if you order this decal off of me, it's not this exact font because this font is no longer on there for some reason. So it's a little bit different now. It's just a little bit different of a font, which I should have printed that out for this project and I didn't. So, okay, so I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to add the little detail thing here that I did. And I'm just keeping it all black here just because I like how it looks. And you can use the transfer paper for this as well, which I might actually, just to show you guys again. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to pull you back up here so you're not staring at my shirt. Okay. Come on. I'm struggling with peeling this stuff off of here. So I'm just taking the outer edge of this. If you missed how to do this vinyl earlier, you just peel it and it leaves your little, if you're using Cricut. If you're using a vinyl that you bought, it should already come like this. And work from the other side. There we go. Alright, so I'm just using that little cool image thing there, and I'm using my transfer paper, which I just laid on top of all my scrap pieces that I just pulled off of my cross. Okay, there we go. So just gonna put that on the transfer paper, press it on there, make sure it's on really good. Okay, so I'm getting, there we go, getting that image on there. I'm gonna actually do this. I ripped that. This one is ripping for some reason. My transfer paper must be getting old or something. Okay, there we go. And that's what that one looks like. And you can use the same paper, transfer paper over again. It's alright to do. And I'm just going to kind of line that up where I want it. I think it looks kind of good. Maybe right in there. I'm going to press it down on there so you guys can see that. And I'm just going to get this here. And just rub that on there. Okay. And then I'm going to peel it right off. Okay, there you go. So there's your sign. Alright, pretty easy. Other than takes a little bit of time, but nothing too crazy and too hard. So alright, you guys, that's what it looks like. Like I said, the font that, you know, if you want to purchase it off of me, you can. It's just a little bit different than this stuff here because this is original Cricut stuff there. So everything looks good. And your vinyls that you get from the Dollar Tree are pretty much the same thing as the Cricut vinyl. Cricut vinyl is just fancy for you can make your own vinyls on your Cricut machine. So if you guys just want to go to the dollar store and do that, that's awesome. You can do that, okay? But let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. This is what your sign will look like. And like I said at the beginning, if you decided to make these and go get everything you needed, just post pictures of them. I definitely want to see them. I bet they look awesome. I'm trying to think. So next project I don't have made yet. My head I keep blocking that light and then it gets dark in here. Okay, so for my next project I am doing a mason jar tissue holder. So I did not make that yet, and the ones that I have are actually at a store right now, so I don't have any to show you. So I'll be making that just so I can show you guys. I'll be posting a picture of it and everything. If you guys have any questions, I did add, now that I'm thinking of it, I did add that list of everything you'll need for that also. That'll actually be on my Facebook as well. So, alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this product and me making this and showing you how to make it, and I hope, you know, you guys try it yourself, even if it is something a little bit different than what we did today. Post it, I want to see it. Alright, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you. Bye-bye.